Hello, this is Scott W. Baker, professional wedding photographer based in Red Hook, Brooklyn. Today I want to discuss one of the most amazing cameras you're ever going to run into for quite some time, the Fuji X100S. The Fuji X100S replaces a camera that Fuji came out with a few years ago called the Fuji X100. And what they did is, in short, create a wonderful street camera, but also great for portraits, for weddings, for pretty much anything. This is an APC censored camera with analog-esque dials on the top. It shoots with a 16 megapixel sensor. It's a new sensor with an organic array with no optical low-pass filter, so your raw files are sharper and have higher resolution. Some of the things to point out on this is that the lens itself is a 35mm equivalent 2.0 lens. It's a fixed lens, therefore there's no dust issues. The camera is very well built. It's an aluminum alloy on top and bottom, and it has the beautiful optical viewfinder with electronic viewfinder, which you can activate with an eye sensor. On the top of the camera here, you will notice a exposure dial that allows you to dial in plus or minus 2 exposure values, up or down 2 stops, your shutter button and on-off button, and something rather analogish, a screw-in remote shutter cable release. You screw it in old-fashioned and squeeze the trigger and shoot the thing, and off it goes. This dial here sets the shutter speed, which can go up to 0.04 of a second, or you can set it on A and get fully analog, aperture preferred, and control the aperture on the lens here, which allows for aperture preferred shooting. The beauty of this is you set the shutter speed at, say, 2/50th of a second, and then you set the aperture to what you prefer. Wide open at 2 if you want shallow depth of field, or let's say 5/6 for superior sharpness. It also has the ability to set it to fully automatic, where the A is there. You set that to A and the dial up here to A, and it will set the shutter speed and the aperture, or you could basically call it fully programmable. I tend to like to shoot non-fully programmable. I set it to the A for aperture preferred. Additionally, on top of here, you have a spot to plug in your TTL flash, either a Fuji, or you can get additional mounts and shoot off-brand Nikon, Canon, whatever you like, flashes. One of the unique features to this is you can, for instance, use something like this Nikon AS15, plug it into the top of your camera, and then plug a sync cable into a flash. And since the camera is not a focal plane shutter, it is a leaf shutter, you can get a sync speed, ready, drum roll please, a sync speed of up to 1/2000th of a second, which is remarkable because you take typical Canon, Nikon DSLRs, and they are syncing at up to 1/250th of a second. Hasselblad is 1/500th of a second. This is up to 2/1000th of a second. And I even tried pushing it to 1/4000th of a second and successfully got a flash to fire. But comfortably, I will be willing to say it can do 1/2000 flash sync. So you can shoot it wide open outside. The camera comes with a built-in ND filter, neutral density, 3-stop filter built in into the menu, so you can knock 3 stops off. Beautiful display on the back, as you can see. You take your picture there. I don't have an SD card in it, but you have a beautiful, almost 3-inch display there, high resolution. All the controls are very logically placed over here for your autofocus points, your flash, your macro, your white balance. Another nice feature is this button right here, the FN button, which allows you to push that and set it for your ISO, or you can reprogram it for other settings. What I tend to like to do is put it at auto ISO 1600, so it picks the lowest ISO for the given shutter speed. Another cool feature of the camera is the fact that it's a rangefinder-esque camera. It is super light, measures about the width of my hand, maybe 5 inches across and 3/4 of an inch thick. It's light, it's less than a pound. You can carry this with a beautiful faux leather Fuji strap around your shoulder all day long and you'll never notice it. It has a teeny built-in flash which allows for fill flash when you're shooting people and produces phenomenal image quality, much better than you'd expect. It's basically a reworked Fuji 100 where they worked all the kinks out and polished an already great gem of a camera into a diamond. And this camera is a superior camera. They go for about $1,200 in the stores, Adorama, B&H. By the way, you can follow me on Adorama's blogs and articles, Learning Center. I am in the Adorama Learning Center, Scott W. Baker. This camera and the Fuji X Pro 1, Fuji X1, and the newly announced XE2, which the Fuji X1 and 2 and X Pro 1 are interchangeable lenses, are re-changing and reimagining the camera world. Nikon and Canon, and to some degree Leica, are in the catch-up mode. And I don't mean a cheeseburger. They are really in a bit of a pickle. The build quality on these is superior in many respects. It's light. The lenses are fabulous, multi-coated. Yes, you can buy a Leica, but the body alone, $7,000. The lenses are $3,000 to $10,000, and I would call this a Leica killer. My name is Scott W. Baker. You can follow me at scottwbaker.com and see my work. Once again, Fuji X100S, really spectacular camera. I highly recommend you go out and purchase one.